Today we are working on 8.3, which is multiplication properties of exponents. So you'll be able to multiply powers, and you'll be able to work with scientific notation when we're done today. This is the meat and potatoes of the lesson right here, and it is multiplying powers with the same base. So for every non-zero number a and integers m and n, this is what happens. So they have the same base. Remember your base in this first example here, your base here was a. Okay, that's your big number, and then the little number, which is represented by m and n. These are my exponents. A is my base, and we're multiplying. So whenever you multiply exponents with the same base, what you can do is actually just add their exponents together. So let's take a look at these examples. So here I have 3 to the 5th times 3 to the 4th. Well, 3 to the 5th, what is that really saying? 3 to the 5th? Well, I have 5 3's times 3 to the 4th. How many 3's? 4 of them. So how can I rewrite this using one base when one exponent would be 3? My base stays the same, and then like I just said up here, we add them, m plus n. So here we have 5 plus 4 gives you 9. So let's see if we're right. 3 times 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 3 really is 3. How many of them do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it's really 3 to 9. So instead of having to write all this out, the shortcut today that we are learning is that you can just add the exponents together and use that number and use the same base. However, it's super important to remember that this only works if the bases are the same. And we need to realize that we are multiplying these two together. So let's take a look at our second example. We're going to go up here with it. H squared times 8 to the 9th. Well, it's really h, add my two exponents, 2 plus 9 gives me h to the 11th. Let's check it. H squared, h times h to the 9th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Count them up. How many do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It's really h to the 11th, which is what we just had said. So that's going to be an important piece today. Look at a few more examples here. 7 to the 3rd times 7 squared. Well, our bases are the same, 7. So what is my answer? So here we same base, add their exponents, 3 and 2. 3 plus 2 is going to give you 5, which you can see is my final answer. This one, the next one, 4 to the 4 times 4 to the 1 times 4 to the negative 2. They all have the same base, so we know my base is going to be 4. Now 4 plus 1 plus a negative 2. 4 plus 1 plus negative 2 is going to give you 3. Alright, the final one here, 6 to the 8th times 6 to the negative 8th. 6 plus negative 8 is going to give you 6 to the 0. Anything to the 0 power, which you guys know from the previous lesson, is 1. A little tougher yet. P to the 2nd times p to the 5th. So what is this really saying? P to the 2nd times p to the 5th. How many p's do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. P to the 8th. So 2 plus 1 plus 5. So notice here, and it's important here, this is just p. We don't write p to the 1 because it's just saying p once, but you do need to know that. So when you add your exponents, you do not add 0. This is really p to the 1. So we have to add that 1 in with my exponent. Add them up, p to the 8th simplified. Alright, this next one here, which I've already pushed through here, This is really saying 2 times q times 3 times p cubed times 4 times q to the 4th. Because this is all multiplication, you can switch, you can interswitch them, which is the associative property, which we talked about at the beginning of this year. So 2 times 3 times 4 times p to the q times q to the 4th. My only like terms, these are all like terms, and then these are like terms. Exponent of 1, so what we're going to see here, 2 times 3 times 4 is 24. P to the 3rd stands by itself. My like terms, 1 and 4, 1 plus 4 is going to give me q to the 5th. So my final answer is down here simplified. We're going to write this in scientific notation. First thing we're going to do, which they've showed here, is rewrite, because this is all multiplication. 3 times 7 times 10 to the 3rd times negative 5. So 3 times 7 is we're going to get our 21, which you can see there in green. Now, these still have the same base of 10, so we can add it. Negative 3 plus negative 5. It's going to give me a negative 8, which you can see is what they used for my exponent. Now, it asks to write in scientific notation. Remember, my first term in scientific notation, that first term needs to be between 0 and 9. Is this between 0 and 9? No, it's not. So we need to take my decimal here, and I need to move it over 1 to get in between the 2 and the 1. And this is the important step that some of you guys struggled with yesterday. Because I've moved this 1 over, I have to remember to add my exponent with that. So now it's 2.1 times 10 to the 1, because I moved it over 1, times 10 to the negative 8. Yesterday I just said, well, let's just add the 1 to the exponent, which is the same thing here. 1 plus negative 8. So we finalize getting negative 7. 1 plus negative 8 is negative 7. This is my simplified answer. Last problem for the day. The speed of light. Pause it and read it for me. So what we're doing here is we're combining all of these together. So we have the speed of light is this. 3 times 10 to the 8 meters per second. 1 times, if there are 1 times 10 to the negative 3rd kilometers in 1 meter, and 3.6 times 10 to the 3rd in 1 hour, seconds in 1 hour, we have this set up. So now all I'm doing is just plugging things in. I have this times this times this. What happens to my units? Well, this is just like that railroad we created. So here would have been my railroad. Meters cancels. Seconds is going to cancel, so I'm left with what I want. Find the speed of light in kilometers per hour. So I'm going to have the right unit. Now I just need to simplify. So I can interchange all of these. I can do 3 because it's all multiplication across, so you can interchange them. 3 times 1 times 3.6, and then same base, same base, same base. 8 times negative 8, negative 3, and 3 is my exponents. So what do? We add them together. That is what we learned today. So when you add these all together, when you times these, we get 10.8 times 10 to the 8th. Well, once again, this first term has to be between 0 and between 1 and 9. It has to be between 1 and 9. So I need to move my decimal over 1 more. Need to add my exponent, so I get 1.08 times 10 to the 9th. So I added that exponent, and the reason I added this exponent here is because I moved that decimal, which is from previous lessons. So the speed of light is about 1.08 times 10 to the 9th kilometers per hour. That is all for today.